We're busy talking, so I don't want to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
The doctor.
Back to
I don't know.
Not another one in the chair.
you look good one like that.
Alright.
Can I get some of this chair?
You look good one like that.
Trying to put this here. Ready? This chair right here. Alright. And I'm good.
We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
I tell you, Julio, I wanted you to start King and Maribel Torres. Carlos Torres. They have the
So I would do that to herbal
fitness nutrition.
I mean, I probably know her.
She does a section on health and have her in there. They're like insane.
Did you
You
see
see my post when I do that fit camp? Yeah, it's really cool.
It's alright.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah, we're supposed to decide on Tuesday what day that's
That's what it's all about.
Because I'm gonna try to do.
So that's what I was trying to tell you. You kept challenging me. And I said, that is part of your challenge.
I think we're all set.
You think so?
That is responsibility. But that's separate from Joseph Allen. So we
No, I'm gonna move over when she comes up.
Tish was kind of confused.
Move in just a touch.
Down, I said, no.
I'll adjust the cameras after you guys get all set up.
Yeah.
Unity.
Alright, ready? 5, 4, 3.
And we're on?
Yeah, to keep
We're on. 6 minutes ago, fresh. We're on. But welcome back to Real Talk 360. We got your host. We got your host Julio and Distracted Tag. Easily Distracted Tag.
I want to be able to hear us talk, not over talk these people.
I'm just focus.
They just like when the show's over.
Focus. But we're back once again, so welcome back for another week of Real Talk 360. This is what we do every Thursday at about 8 o'clock. I think we're the #1 rated Latino show on at 8 o'clock in Gates at Blue Bar and Grill.
I think even the whole Rochester.
Probably the whole Rochester.
That's deep.
Gotta be able to claim that.
Demographics.
We gotta claim that. We gotta claim that. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. But
Has anybody kept track about how long we've been on doing this show now?
do I think you ask every week? Every
do,
week
I
has
do.
1 week.
I know
So
everybody
last
had, no, I think we
Last time it was like 5 months. Today is 5 months in a week.
No, I think last time it said 6 months.
That's close to 6 months.
Hey Chuck,
Late March.
how long have we been on now?
This is late March. Doesn't he ask us every week?
Oh wait, no, I don't know.
No, we were a little bit later. We're March.
Well, you came on our first week.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, March. So April, May, June, July, August, September. It's probably 6 months.
6 months.
So yeah, 6 months. And he'll ask next week, and then next week it'll be 6 months.
I haven't missed any shows. But this one over here.
I missed 2 and I'm gonna miss
You missed
1
3.
more.
I missed 1 because of Puerto Rico
And I'm
Festival.
gonna miss 1 more. I'm gonna miss a few more actually. I'm trying to take 4 vacations
over
next year.
here, yeah.
So I'm gonna miss like 4 more. But in the next year. For now I'm here.
I've been
When
holding it
I'm
down.
here, it seems to be that the ratings are like.
No, actually, things get much, things are much more fun when you're not here. I hold it down.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe, but hey, we'll let people out there decide. We'll have a contest for you. Give away $1 million mortgage.
Yeah, I'm gonna step
So
aside from
Ted,
that.
Ricardo Nieves, Black Keller Street, Rochester, New York 14609. Got you. I'll put out the real address.
Dude, if I had $1 million, I would not give it away.
Why not?
I'd have to have like 100 million to give
They say
away
when
one.
you give, you receive.
I'm not gonna give my whole fortune of $1 million, but I have to have like at least
Give a
100.
million and we'll get back at least 100.
Yeah, sure. $100.
$100.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, in all seriousness, I wish we could give away $1 million one day. But for now, we'll just talk to you about how you might be able to purchase $1 million home. We'll see what it takes. Recap of last week's show. We already did. Let's do the Facebook shots. And hashtags.
Hashtag my phone shakes out here every time.
Does it?
I don't know why here. Hashtag my Steelers just started playing right now.
They started playing this short? I just want to say at 8:25 or something.
Okay. The later the better, that way I get a better opportunity to watch it.
Alright, so hashtag Andrew Vargas my boy from work, who actually just finished the long and exhausting 2-year process of buying a house. What a coincidence, we're talking about buying houses. It took him 2 years to get his house, but today he finally closed. So congrats to you.
Hashtag to Frankie Cutlass. I guess he had some medical issues going on, but everything came out negative. Whatever it was, I didn't read into it, but I'm glad you're doing better.
Oh, hashtag to the Pittsburgh Steelers pissing on the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I love that.
So, on behalf of Tag, let's go Steeler Nation. I do not,
You do not condone or
I do not
support champions?
support
Right
or
there.
any of that, but,
Yeah.
you know, what else we got here? What else we got? We got,
Hashtag
we'll be doing the fight, so.
You know what?
You're on the west side, come check us out at Blue. You're on the east side, go check them out at Ray Ray's. It's all love, and hopefully we're gonna see a great fight.
Hashtag real quick. I know we're going to talk about this later with the officer that was murdered here for the first time in 55 years later, an officer that was shot and killed in the line of duty. But Romeo Rosa, he had brought a great point. Hashtag, where was Governor Andrew Cuomo yesterday for the cow funeral? He was 45 minutes away doing what?
All right, we can talk about that. And the thing about
Good
it is,
point,
man, no, it is a great point, but the same thing was said about Obama. He went golfing. I mean, you know, I guess
Obama covers the country. Cuomo covers New York State.
Yeah, the state. So yeah, definitely, we'll talk about that.
Hashtag to my cousin Daniel Antonetti doing a hella video shoot with
I didn't even see who was in the picture. I just noticed the chick.
I couldn't even see my cousin because her ass just covers the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like she looked like a stallion.
That's what I was looking at. I said, Danielle, no disrespect to you, but I mean,
Do you know what? Danny, get out the video.
Yeah,
just turn it all in.
just get out.
I mean, this is phenomenal.
Yes.
Dude.
So,
Oh, wait. Hashtag 9/11.
oh yeah, of course.
Hashtag 9/11. And we'll be talking about that later on.
Yeah, that's today. So definitely, and it's funny because no matter how many years pass, Biden is really not funny. It's actually sad, but I think that's one of those things where you'll never forget
Where you were.
at that exact moment.
I don't even think Pearl Harbor has the impact.
You were.
No, I wasn't. Whatever. I'm just saying though, the impact of Pearl Harbor compared to the impact of the Twin Towers, you know, even though Hawaii's part of the United States, it really is not the actual. That's a little island to the side, but
Yeah, but I think it still has an impact for those that lived in that era.
well, absolutely.
That was the biggest thing I ever had.
No,
I mean, there's a couple things that we remember.
That was actually the first time.
I remember when OJ got found guilty. I remember where I was.
Where I did so good in my first year that, I mean, I was on my second year because I came from a different school. I was at Jefferson Middle School, and I did so good in like this first chaotic year. No one could have handled it. Anybody else would have quit. But I did so good with it, and that I walk in the next school year, and you know, school opens a few days early for that, you know, the staff, and I'm sitting there like I don't even know what my assignment is. So my supervisor comes in, and you know, most paraprofessionals work in the disadvantaged kids,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, any disabilities. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. She looks at me. I got something special for you this year. And I'm like, oh boy, what the hell is it? So this is when they introduced the Hillside program, where Hillside is trying to reintroduce and socialize some of the kids that they feel can transition back into social, you know, regular social life by bringing them and mixing them back up into regular school, you know, life. There was only 2 classes, 6 kids, 2 teachers, 2 parents, and 2 crisis intervention people. Our classes are side by side, only ones in the whole building, okay? So it was a very small unit. We're sitting there having it, just doing class, whatever. I'm sitting at my desk, and the other paraprofessional, this lady, she walks in. You gotta leave it up to her. It was always her. She walks in the door. She goes, "Turn on the news. Someone just Harry carried the Twin Towers." I'm like, "What the hell did you just say?" And I'm like, "What?" And honestly, at first, like everybody else, I didn't think of terrorists. I didn't think anybody was attacking us. To me, it was in my mind an accident. An accident. So lo and behold, we turned the news on. We had a TV, and we both had TVs in our rooms because you know we had. Anyways, so we turn it on, and I'm like, "Whoa, that was a big plane. That wasn't a little plane. That was a big plane." Which is talked about it in his rhymes. people that go around with those little scriptures, you know, those kind of religious people, I forget what they call them.
Pentecostals.
Well, the other ones anyway, Jehovah's Witnesses, they go around with those little pamphlets, and people have always predicted that towers will be hit for some reason, and then we all knew that. We've talked about it, we've heard about it, and we thinking like, yeah, whatever. But it actually came to fruition. When that second plane hit the second tower, it was dead on, and I'm like, all I thought was biblical stuff. All I thought was God. This was already written. It was already in the Bible.
You know what's under the world right there?
I don't know, but I knew this was not man. I knew this was something beyond man. This was something religious, and it was ultimately on the side of the Islamic people that thought they were doing it for Islam, or you know.
Yeah, I got you.
So I freaked out, man, and you know, let me tell you, everybody started panicking to the point where they started picking up their kids from school, and sure enough, I did. My daughter was in kindergarten, first grade, and I dipped. She was, I was over there at Jefferson Middle School. She was over there downtown St. Paul. There used to be a charter school there. My kid's mother called me up. She goes, "Are you gonna pick her up?" I said, "I'm on my way." I picked her up, brought her back to my school, and I just held on to it, you know, to her. And then, you know, the school did not close, school did not end. I know they wanted us to turn off the TVs. Ms. Diaz said, "Don't watch it, don't let the kids watch it, or nothing." But how can you not watch? How can you not watch?
Sure, you know.
I mean, so at the end of the day, when I went home, my family came over, other people came over, and we were glued on that TV probably to the break of dawn. Everyone watched the news. Now the news here was not like the news in Telemundo. Telemundo actually showed things that happened at the American news in that show. And what I'm talking about is people actually jumping off the
Oh no,
buildings.
but I seen that. You seen that live? That was actually on-
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
They looked like pieces of paper.
They did.
And you don't really expect.
No, you
live
see
TV, the people.
in New York, I've seen them. You've seen them. You've seen the Twin Towers. You see skyscrapers. It's not like here when you go like this. You can't see it. Over there, it's like, oh my gosh, I still can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Those buildings were huge, huge.
And I think that's where it got serious. I think that's where it definitely got serious. I know me, Danny, my boy Louis was sharing an apartment over there,
Big
sharing
deal.
a house here. Over there where basement is at now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we were there, and I remember we had the Nextels. All three of us had the Nextels.
With the
And
church?
I remember, with the church. And I remember I was laying on the couch. I had passed out on the couch the night before, and I hear, "Dude, wake up! We're under attack!" And that's all I kept hearing. I kept hearing, and I could hear it from upstairs, from Danny's room. And it was actually Steve, rest in peace. It was Steve Diaz hitting up Danny, telling him, "Yo!" So Danny, I hear him get up. You know, D's big, so he's walking.
Oh, you
so
can
then
hear
I'm
him,
like,
yeah.
so my first instinct was turn the TV on, because if he's talking about where
It
you're
was
going
on
to attack,
yeah.
I'm like, it's on TV. So as soon as I turn the TV, breaking news, see the Twin Towers, see the smoke coming out, I'm like, oh crap. So I go get Louis, we're sitting there, we're chilling, we're talking, just watching. And then, like about 10, 15 minutes later,
Another one hit.
blah!
That's
Another
when
one comes.
How did you feel when that second one hit?
Oh, it was like the same, I think the same feeling. It was just like, oh crap.
Because the first one, what did you think when the first one hit? When you first hit, you thought it was an
I thought it was an
accident.
accident. I was like, bro, New York City, a lot of airplanes are coming in and out of Jefferson.
Exactly.
So I'm like, an accident, an unfortunate accident. When I seen that other one on live TV hit, it was like, I got a feeling that went straight down. First thing I did was call my ex, was like, my daughter all right? Same thing with my son.
This is before they went
Sure,
down.
they were good.
How did you feel when they went down?
Oh, that was, I was watching it, and it was like slow motion. Like I saw the whole
Same thing
thing.
for me.
I saw the whole thing just in slow motion, and all I could think about was, because I used to deliver packages there. I used to actually work there. So all I could think about was all the floors. When I used to walk into the lobby, going up the stairs, the Windows of the World restaurant, everywhere that I worked up in that building, and just kind of imagining what is going on.
And mind you, a lot of people don't understand that these skyscrapers, they don't have 4 elevators. They have like
tons of elevators.
tons of. An elevator can go so high. After that, you have to take another elevator to go so high, and then from there take another elevator to go so high. There was like, I think there was like something like 100 elevators or something like that.
No, it's crazy. It's massive. Yeah, that's something I'll definitely never forget, man. But literally, as soon as I found out the kids were good, I literally stood glued in front of that television. I would say probably about 10, 11 hours.
Me too.
Did not even move.
Me too.
In front of that couch. I remember I had to shop at that time. I was supposed to go open the shop. I'm like, I'm not opening anything.
All they did was replay it, but you could not stop
No, it was
watching
just-
it.
I was just-
You couldn't stop
It was
watching
shocking. It was
Yeah,
shocking.
it was very
I've
shocking.
never in my life witnessed something like that, and it was crazy. To this
Yeah.
day, you know, it's still unfortunate. All the people that passed away, it's unfortunate, man. But
Who do you think was behind that?
I don't even want to get into that because there's so many different things. I don't really care who was behind it. What I do care about
Over
is the
3,000
fact that
lives were
3,000 lives were lost, regardless of what anybody believes, conspiracy theorists, or whatever it may be. The point is, 3,000 people lost their lives, and you can't devalue that, and that there's no conspiracy in that. There was 3,000 plus people that died. So I'm gonna leave that on that note, and kind of move over to another.
You know what was cool though? Going to New York and being, I wanted to go. I wanted to go see the Freedom Tower, but it was cool to see it across the river.
Oh, yeah.
Brooklyn. It was real cool to see it. We took pictures in front of
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Even when we went to the restaurant in Manhattan, we were right in front of it. I took the picture of Joel when he was getting out of the cab.
Which restaurant?
When we went to the Spanish
Sassoon?
restaurant, yeah. That
Who
was
was
right
right-
in the Freedom Tower, right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I took a picture of it right there while we were walking. When we were walking.
You would have told me that. I was like,
When we were looking.
well, let's walk right by it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you could see it. It wasn't like right there.
No, but I'm like, I would have still took a
See it.
picture.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but we had no drinks or
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, you gotta send something to me. And I was like,
Yeah, no.
let's go to
Take
the bar.
pictures with it and everything. So definitely seeing the World Trade Center there and then seeing the night. I think I was there the week before. So I was there like a week before that happened.
I think I was there just the year before.
And a week later for all this to happen is crazy, man. But like I said, it's just definitely unfortunate. God bless all those people that passed away and everybody affected by that. God bless, Police Officer Darrell Pearson. His funeral, his official funeral was yesterday at Blue Cross Arena. I took a little bit of time, walked from work, went over there. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. That was like ridiculous. I went by the library over on Broad Street and just looked down towards State Street or right towards the front of the Blue Cross Arena. And I mean, it looked like every single cop car that we had in the city.
You could have robbed the bank. You could have got away with it.
Was there.
Because everybody was at
I
that
had the
funeral.
lights on. And then I went around to the other side, to the Blue Cross Arena side, on Exchange Street, and saw the 21 gun salute. And they were bringing his casket.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, and it was crazy because there had to be about 2,000 or 3,000 people there.
Officer-wise.
Wow. Don't talk about people. There were people from the community there.
Yeah, I seen
It wasn't
that.
just the officers. It was everybody.
It looked like the officers alone. It looked like,
Oh yeah, they took up the whole block. But then on the sides, there were people up in the parking garages watching.
yeah, I think 2,000 or 3,000 was short. I think it could have been
Could have been
easily
more.
5,000.
Yeah, it could have been more, but the funny
But they
thing-
came from out of state,
the crazy
too,
thing
right?
was, it was quiet. Like all these people, and you could hear it.
Wow.
Nobody was talking.
Well, I was watching it
Nobody was
live
making
at
noise.
work, and yeah, it is, yeah.
It was eerily quiet, man. So it was definitely crazy.
It was deep, man.
Definitely crazy.
The first officer shot and killed on the line of duty in Rochester, New York, in 55 years. I'm gonna tell you something crazy. My job last week, I had, again, I do the housing stuff. I was at a lady's house last Friday. I gotta say, she lives over there in Brighton, type of Rochester area. Real nice house, nice lady. And she had her friend. She's older. She's like in the 50s, 60s, early 60s, late 50s, somewhere around. And her friend came to visit her, and she was a little distraught because they found her. The news found her to interview her because apparently the last time it was a murder for an officer back 55 years ago. Her father was the partner of the officer that was killed. And they wanted to interview her because she was a kid at that time and she was at the funeral and they wanted to ask her some questions and stuff. So it brought up memories and stuff like that for her. So it was deep, like 55 years ago, and it happened the same way. The guy, someone shot the cop and his partner shot the suspect. Just how it happened this time. It was crazy.
Yeah, so that's definitely unfortunate, man. And regardless of how you feel about the police, regardless of how you feel about any situation, nobody deserves to die like that way. We talked about it a lot last week.
I don't care how you feel about the police. When something's going wrong, when something's going down, your friend's down, who do you think about calling? The cops. Call 911, call 911. So talk all you want about the cops, but everybody needs them.
Definitely rest in peace to him and love and respect to everybody that was affected by that. Larry and Jane Glazer, another Rochester couple that passed away last week.
Now, explain to the audience who they are.
Yeah, they were actually, Larry Glazer is the CEO, or was a CEO, basically the founder of Buckingham Properties. They own almost, I think it's 13 million
really? That was
square
him?
feet.
I know, I met him one time in my entrepreneur class. He's a short guy. Oh my, he used to own the Tampa Bay Bucks?
No,
was it him?
Malcolm Glazer.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know if it's his brother, if it's his, but they're the same guy.
But I met that guy, one of my classmates. Oh my
Malcolm Glazer,
God.
yeah, Malcolm Glazer owns the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Manchester United
Yeah.
soccer team. But Larry Glazer owned Buckingham Properties. Big time, him and his wife.
They started, you know why they named it Buckingham, the first
Yeah, they
house?
started Buckingham on Street.
Yeah, the first property they bought was at Buckingham.
And I know that the family, Malcolm Glazer and them, they're from Rochester, and they're the ones that basically started real estate in Rochester. So I know that they're all related, but I don't know exactly what the connection is. But I just know that they left here last
Florida, but they
Thursday.
crashed out in Germany.
Well, no, the thing was is that they left here Friday. They left the Rochester airport at around 9 o'clock. At around 10:30, the FAA tries to make contact with the plane just to see what's going on. They don't respond. So immediately we have a protocol set up where we send out 2 F-15 fighter pilots to find out what's going on. So they pull up beside them.
Go on the same route.
Yeah, they pulled up the scene. It was autopilot. Planes fly themselves.
Oh, the plane was flying?
Yeah, planes fly themselves.
No, I know that, but when they sent them up, was that plane flying?
Yeah, plane was flying.
Okay.
As the teams went up, they were able to make visual contact, and they saw the pilot slumped over, and it looked like a passenger was slumped over. The windows were fogged up, so what they're thinking is a condition that happens when you lose cabin pressure. I forget the actual name of the condition that occurs, but it has to do with the loss of cabin pressure and the loss of oxygen. So what ends up happening is you lose oxygen. You pass out. They passed out. And the plane was on autopilot, so he wasn't able to take off on autopilot.
So he bypassed Florida.
So yeah, the plane just kept going until it ran out of gas. The
That
plane
makes
had
more
to keep
sense.
going until it ran out of gas. It only had like 5 hours of gas. It was supposed to make it to Naples like in 3 hours. It kept going. It passed Cuba. Cuba said, U.S., you can't come in here. So they started following it. Followed it. It went into Jamaican airspace. Jamaica took over. Shortly thereafter, it crashed. It ran out of gas.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was crazy.
Get your cabin pressure right.
Hypoxia. You have hypoxia. And I guess it happened to a famous golfer.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. They actually said they could see the one guy, the pilot was actually reading when they first saw him, but then he stopped, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, the fortunate thing is hopefully they didn't suffer. More than likely they were already passed away before the plane actually crashed.
Yeah.
So at least they didn't have to deal with that part of it. It's unfortunate for the family though because
He died laughing.
they don't have bodies. They don't have bodies. They have no records. They can't find anything.
They can't even find a wreckage.
No, it was a small plane. They said it's like, if I'm not mistaken, it was 1 mile of water depth in that area.
Oh, yeah, it's a small plane.
It's a small plane. So, it's more than likely went down.
I
But
met him one time.
from what I've heard, everybody that I know that knew him and the family, great people in the community of Rochester, had a vision for Rochester, for downtown, and it looks like Buckingham is going to continue on that vision. So rest in peace to the Glazers as well. It's unfortunate.
Buckingham is huge here.
Oh yeah, Buckingham is huge. They own everything. They own, I mean, the biggest one is where I wanted to get a property at. I wanted to get a loft there. Was the one that, right outside the frontier.
Where you actually go out in the interlude.
Yeah, so definitely a sad situation, you know, and it's the way life works sometimes. So rest in peace to them as well as Officer Darrell Pearson. This Saturday, walk against bullying
That's
at
a Saturday?
somewhere in Torres Park, Clinton Avenue, 11 a.m. Take a stand against bullying. Make sure you come out, support that. Hashtag shouts out and everything to Leticia Estacio, who just completed one obstacle to go closer to becoming city court judge. As far as I know, this puts her on the ballot. To me, it basically secures her spot, but let's not go that far yet. We do know that she won the primary, so shouts out to her. Shouts out to Leslie Rivera, a colleague of mine, a great community leader. she failed in her bid to capture the legislative position, but I'm confident and I'm certain that she's going to do big things. She's already doing big things in this community. So a lot of respect to her and her campaign, as well as Leticia Estacio, Veronica Dasher, who's a frequent guest on our show at smoochingfrogs.com. I know she supported the campaign. She actually was involved in that campaign. So shouts out to you guys for putting together a great campaign. And for getting Leticia Estacio one step closer to city court judge. So we definitely love that. And the last thing I had to talk about, well, she's on his way back now, is because of Leticia Estacio, TAG actually voted for the first time. So how was that experience for you voting? Was it that difficult?
No, it wasn't difficult. It was.
Did you lose anything in the process of doing so?
No, I didn't lose anything. I mean, I'm glad she won because I feel like I won too because I voted for her, but I didn't feel nothing different. I just
Exactly. So
You vote.
you know, I guess.
imagine it would come down to one vote.
No, imagine, well, true, but imagine if I was to sit down with more people like her, people that are in politics and I can understand more, people that are higher level, like the governor. I wish I could sit down for an hour and be like, you know what, tell me why I should register and vote for you. Why, you know, and don't, not for the cameras, not for nothing. What, tell me, make me want to believe in you to vote.
And I agree 100% on that, but that would probably
I'm just saying
take
I
up
wish.
the entire game.
No, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, sit down and wait for an hour.
Oh, no, I mean, with you,
Leticia was
but
here
then there's
like,
going to be a million other people that want the same exact thing you want. And why should we get it?
no, I just think.
There's a lot of people that don't vote for the same reason you just said.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't,
You know,
I think
so-
they just do it, I think they just wrong, they're gonna tell voters what they wanna hear just to get votes. Once they're in office, it's a totally different story, that's the way I've always seen it. But, you know, Leticia, you know, she touched me, you know, coming from our neighborhood, you know, coming from Rochester, you know, coming from the hood period, you know, what she talked about, that inspired me to wanna say, you know what, I'll do it for you.
So that's what's up. So Tag voted, Leticia
Registered
won.
voting
We
for the
all,
first time.
we
It's for you, girl.
all win, and it's a great thing. So for all those that are not registered to vote, make sure you register to vote. I mean, you can go either way.
Oh, you couldn't?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a Gates resident.
You're gay, what?
I'm a Gates, it's the suburbs. I'm
I just heard gay.
I'm only so hood at times, but when I go home, I don't go home to the
That's a
sorry.
city voting,
I'm
he's in the
sorry.
suburbs.
I'm sorry. But with no further ado, we have our guest of honor, our guest of the night, Miss
Say her name fast.
Mrs. Rosalie Rivera Aswaga.
Say it 3 times fast.
No,
Aswaga.
Rivera Aswaga.
Aswaga.
Citizens Bank Senior Mortgage Loan Officer.
Oh, no, you better get that
So
right.
you better get that.
I don't like using the word senior.
I put in my time.
It just makes it sound like you're really old and you're not.
No. It just means that I'm very good at what I do and I can,
You're putting her age out there now. Why would you do that?
What? So what? She's 36 years old. What's wrong with that?
thank you.
She's actually younger than both of us.
37,
Younger
but
than you.
I'll take
37.
36.
Okay.
Yeah.
See? There we go. There we go.
Senior just means
I'm
that I'm
only
very good at what I
25.
do, more
I know you
experience.
are.
I'm 25.
Yes.
So like we said earlier, we had Rosemary here last time, talked about the real estate side of it. So this time we have Rosalie here, and she's going to talk about the mortgage side of it.
Yes,
So
yes.
I go to Rosemary. Rosalie.
No, first, you have an
Very
interest.
confusing.
You have an interest in buying a house.
Yes, and I
Yes.
went to Rosemary, right? Rosemary told me, hey, we can go look at some houses. But then she told me, you have to talk to my girl, Rosalie, because you need to get pre-approved. What is that? What does that mean? I mean, I got money, I got some money in my pocket. Why do I need to get pre-approved? What's all that?
That's right. So pre-approved or pre-qualified, which is the very first thing that people do when they start looking for a house. And that's the very first thing that the realtor is going to want to tell their clients.
Okay.
Have you been pre-qualified? Have you gone to a bank? Have you seen a mortgage loan officer?
Okay.
Pre-qualified means that someone like myself, a mortgage loan officer, has checked your credit,
Okay.
verify your income,
Okay.
make sure that based on your credit, your monthly debt, and your income, you can carry that mortgage payment.
Okay.
I will be the one to tell you how much you can afford on a house. Okay, so you might think that you can afford 150, but when I sit down and I do the calculations,
So no, you can only afford 20.
all you really he qualifies for that $50,000
let's
house.
be realistic.
That's right.
And that's what
I got a
you
cardboard box for you in the back.
Yeah.
You're good.
But definitely, so you want to be realistic with the individual.
That's
You want to
right.
make sure they can actually afford this, because
Yes.
why waste your time, Rosemary's time, and
That's
their
right.
own time?
That's right.
All right.
And your own time. Remember, we want to make sure that when you're out house hunting, that you're getting the most of your time. Remember, you're going to go look at 10 houses, and if you don't have that pre-qualification letter, the realtor's going to say, well, I'm showing you a $150,000 house. How do I know you qualify for it? So by going, to the bank first, getting pre-qualified, and finding out that you really qualify for 105, then the realtor steps back and says, okay, Julio, Ricardo, you really only qualify for 105. Let's put the $150,000 house aside, unless you have that extra $45,000
Yep,
to
in
put
cash.
in cash, right? So if you do, then that's fine. We'll keep looking at 150. But if not, then 105 it is. You keep looking at your the right dollar amount, and then you take it from there.
Now I have a question. Because it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market, especially with the economy's been in the past several, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it is. Is there any programs, not with just your bank or any bank, is there any programs set aside out there to help homeowners achieve their dreams, like
Absolutely.
with apps, like money down, any type, tax
Absolutely.
breaks, whatever, anything?
Many programs out there within the community. The city of Rochester is giving out grants. They have a $3,000 grant, they have a $6,000 grant. Us at Citizens, we have up to $2,500 in grants. Those are all special incentives to get people motivated to buy, to be first-time home buyers. The goal of banks is for you to spend money on a mortgage, not on rent. Okay, so when we like to entice customers by giving them closing cost assistance, some which, if it was up to me, I think every buyer would.
I wish I knew. When I first bought my house, no one made me aware of it, and I was
No.
taken advantage of.
No.
And I wish I had to finance over $6,000 of closing costs.
No.
And no one made me. And the thing was that hurt me the most was a Latino that sold me my house. It was a HUD home. He should have stopped and said, "Listen, there's some programs out there to
Yes.
help you and your,
Yes.
your wife,
Yes.
to do this and do that."
Yeah.
And I felt hurt that at the end all he was thinking about was this.
And that's unfortunate. There are people out there like that. But to be honest, the goal, I am what we call a CRA loan officer. I target low mod borrowers in the city. I can do a loan in Pittsburgh, $400,000, $500,000, but my concentration is in the low mod community.
Now let me ask you
Low
something.
income.
Why is it so important to own a home rather than rent?
Well, why would you want to give $600 in rent to a stranger when?
Or more.
Or more, $600, $700, $800, right? $15,000 a year in rent, right? To a stranger when you can do it for yourself. If you rent somebody's house, you have to ask permission to paint the house red
Have a
or
pet.
whatever, have a pet, things like that. If you own your house, you want to knock the wall down.
But what
you
does
just-
it do for that community, for that one particular area, as far as property value?
Well, the property value is going to increase because you're going to pay more attention to your house than if you were a renter. Remember, if you rent, you're going to call your landlord for everything. Mira, this world.
And if you don't like the neighborhood, you can easily get up and go.
And you move. Exactly.
You don't care. You don't have a
Right.
vested interest.
That's right. When you own a house, it's yours. It's your investment. You can, live there 5, 10 years, sell it, make money.
I've been
move on
there
to
in
a
my
better
house.
one.
I hit 15 years in March, and let me tell you, I have the governor, I have the mayor, and I'm like the police chief or something.
There you go.
Because
There you go.
one lady's been there for like 40, other been like 30
Yeah.
something. And I got some other ones been there longer than me, but like I'm outspoken. I try to take care of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's why you can go a block that way, a block that way, a block that way, a
And
block that
those
way.
are
There's a
the-
problem. In my little area, we get together.
And
I got
those
the
are the
little,
kind of owners we
Yeah,
want. We
yeah,
want people
yeah.
that are going to take pride in owning that property.
15 plus years.
And yes, absolutely. And
I'm still the youngest homeowner there, and I bought it when I was like early 20s, like 22,
that's awesome.
23.
You should be almost done with that mortgage.
Yeah, I wish.
Maybe you should call me so we can refinance.
Well, I need to
There you go. Bam! There
That's
we
right.
go.
I'm here.
So not only can
What
we get
else
the
can I
first
answer?
mortgage,
Yes.
not only can we get the first mortgage, we can refinance the current mortgage.
That's right. You could refinance your current mortgage. There's people that are at 10% interest rate. We'd be happy
I'm
to
at
refinance.
7.5 still.
Right, we need to talk after this.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to talk.
But I think she was able to broker me like a low 4s.
You know?
Anyways, Here, there's a bad stigma out there. People are scared to own homes. They feel like they're not ready for it. They're scared of it because of the responsibilities.
Yeah.
They're scared to get it because if I don't pay, I'm gonna lose it. I mean, there's so many different things that keep you away. There's so many stigmas that scare people away from owning a home. And I cannot be the biggest promoter of telling people all the time. And I work in the field of properties all the time. I was a construction manager and housing program coordinator for 14621. Now I'm at NeighborWorks doing BPI energy audits and stuff, and I'm also a risk assessor. I'm a risk assessor, and starting not this Monday but the following Monday, I'll be starting with the city of Rochester as a code enforcement officer.
That's
so
awesome.
I'll be working. I'm still in the housing field. And I love the housing field. Like if I knew then what I know now, oh my gosh, this would be so great.
Right.
But I mean, it's a learning process. And I tell people all the time, don't be afraid to pick up a hammer and learn. It's now a Google and YouTube.
Yes.
Learn how to fix things yourself. You can fix things.
That's right.
But there's this big stigma. They are so scared. I tell people they look at me with this. No, they're scared. Like no, I don't want to own a house. I mean, you say the benefits, but tell them how easy it is.
Well, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of advantages to owning a house, and there's some disadvantages. Remember, you said that when you rent, you can move anywhere.
Yeah.
When you own, you have to think twice.
And something breaks, you got to fix it yourself.
That's right. You have to be your own landlord.
Yeah.
So those might be a couple of the disadvantages. So if you're not a handy person, think twice. Remember, because when the toilet breaks, you can't just call Joe the landlord anymore. You have to do that yourself or pay somebody to do it. So those are the things. But it just gives you such a sense of pride.
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to be
I remember the
honest.
first night I slept in my house. Oh,
You remember
I remember
how good it
the
is?
first night.
I'm going to be
it
honest.
was raining. I loved it.
I do mortgages for first-time home buyers, and most of my clients are Hispanics. There is no better feeling than getting a phone call 3 weeks later when they move and saying, Oye, Rosalie, gracias.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I don't care if they invite me to the housewarming party. I don't care. I do want to be invited.
Which I did.
Yeah. But all I want is that phone call saying, thank you.
Yeah.
Gracias. You know what? Because it just makes me feel so happy. They were paying probably $900 in rent.
Or more, yeah.
Right? Or more. Now, in an apartment that they couldn't make decisions on what to change in that apartment. Now they own a house. They have their own private driveway.
By the way, for you people who are paying $7 to $9 or more, $100 a month.
That's right.
I'm paying $5.50 or less,
That's right.
including
That's right.
taxes and everything.
It makes a big difference, and it's his own house.
It's
And you can write it off.
So you can do what you want to do.
That's right.
For the most part. I mean, you still got to be, careful as far as you're not going to have a lot of parties like
Yes.
anything else.
They love me
Yes.
over there. All my neighbors come over.
Yeah, but definitely. So let me ask you a question, right?
Yes.
So I went through the pre
Qualified area,
qualification.
Yep.
Everything came back
Yep.
good. So you guys tell me how much I can afford, right?
That's right.
So you're gonna dictate, okay, you can afford this much. I go with Rosemary. We look at a house. I find the house. I'm like, this is the house that I want.
Yes.
Let's
And a
make
nice
it
one
all.
you found.
Yep.
Yeah.
You make the offer, and now where do you come back into this process? You already did the pre-qualification.
But it's not an easy or short process either.
No,
So
I'm
that's
not
what I
gonna
wanna
sit
know.
here and lie. I'm not
I
gonna
remember
lie.
I was telling Julio the last time Rosemary was here, they messed up on my closing. They didn't escrow me. And I said, I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I was like, because I wanted to move into my house so
You didn't-
bad.
You didn't have the right loan on.
No, I'm telling you, it was me against the world. And my
I'm
kid's
so
mother,
sorry.
she was clueless.
Yeah.
And I was clueless too because, again, had I known
Well,
then
remember,
what I
you
know
were a
now.
first-time home buyer.
I didn't know
And back
anything.
then,
And
they didn't have-
nobody was holding my hand saying, Ricardo, we're going to guide you
That's
through
right.
this and now. No one did that.
And
No one
that's
did
why
that.
it's so important to have these first-time home buyer classes. I am telling you, once you find a house, you've already been
By the way, there's a
pre-qualified.
lot of programs out
They
there.
are. There are a lot of
NeighborWorks has them,
Yes.
Market View Heights has
That's
them,
right.
the City of Rochester has them.
And banks. Banks like myself and other local banks have great programs for first-time home buyers. Don't get me wrong. I'm here to represent every bank out there, okay? We do the best we can to offer as much as we can to first-time home buyers. So you find your house,
Yep.
you come back,
Want it?
the realtor, Rosemary, sends me a purchase contract. You and I get together again. We do the formal mortgage application, okay? We gather all the documents. We send it in for processing, underwriting. It gets approved. They might ask for a few more things. I won't lie.
You're saying all these things, but how
Yeah.
long does that take?
Okay, well, I'm getting to that, right? Usually a purchase contract, the realtor should know by now, if they've been in this business long enough, they have to write a contract for 45 to 60 days.
But
And the
why?
next-
But why?
Because it takes long. It's a process. The process to process the loan, to underwrite the loan,
See, I don't
to
get that though.
close
Why
the loan.
can't you say, here's a product or whatever, the paper, they
Yeah.
sign up, they're approved, whatever, hand it to the next person, can you sign that, give it to the next person,
Do
sign
you
that?
think you're
I mean,
the only person buying a house? Do you think you're the only person buying a
In
house?
Tag's
market?
world- In Tag's world, yes. Everything revolves
I'm just saying though, people get paid to do
No,
this,
no, no.
step on the gas pedal, they're just going.
Him say that he wants
It's not-
politicians to sit with him
No.
and answer all his questions. It's his
Absolutely
world.
not.
Let's
I hope
go-
you don't want to take a
politician,
vacation.
I have
Don't
to
take a
open door.
vacation, don't go to
Back
lunch.
to
Tag
reality.
wants his blown down.
Absolutely. You're
So-
not the only one. Remember, there's hundreds. I have a pipeline. I have customers all the time, buying a house, refinancing. So, they're in process all the time. And it takes, I have a processor, she has 120 loans. She's got to get them going,
Okay.
So, it's a process, 45 to 60 days.
By the way, it was a
Title,
question, I'm not
there's
saying
an-
they should do that just for me, okay?
There's an appraisal.
I'm asking for the audience.
There's things that need to be done.
120, that's 1 a minute, 2 minutes, what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. Fuck lunch, what are you doing lunch? Skip lunch, even when you get home.
There's attorneys that need to work on the title. There's an appraiser that needs to go out on the house and check the house out to make sure. Okay, so it takes time. Usually about 45 days, 60 days to get you to closing. We clear the loan to close, the attorneys calls it in, and we'll go to closing, we hand you the key.
Who deals with the PMIs? Do you guys enforce PMIs?
The
Or
banks.
the banks
The banks,
enforce
in
PMIs?
New York State,
How is that relationship, by the way?
the PMI and the banks, well, we're in a really good relationship. Why wouldn't we be?
I'm just saying, I think PMIs sit on properties that are vacant way too long before they decide to put it back in the market.
Well, let's talk about that.
What's about-
PMI is private mortgage
Make sure we
insurance.
explain what that is.
Yeah, PMI is private mortgage insurance. In New York State, if you buy a house and you don't put more than 20% down, you have to have private mortgage insurance. It's an insurance, they can pay monthly
That, by the
premium.
way, many of you don't even know that you have already.
That's right, but they should if they had the right loan officer.
Yeah, exactly.
And they went to the right first-time home buyer class. Remember, PMI, you pay it as a customer monthly, but who benefits? The bank. If we foreclose, let's say it's Citizens, we foreclose on your house because you stop paying, that PMI, that private mortgage company is gonna pay us, not you, because
Hold
remember,
on. But see, you skipped the moment there.
What is
Before they decide to pay you, they sit on that property and they decide if they're gonna pay you or keep it.
Oh, it depends how much value it has, how much mortgage it has.
And that's
left
my
on it.
beef right there, because that right there, what you said,
Uh-huh.
that thinking process of theirs is between 1 to 5 years. And during that time, a good property, a decent property, dilapidates to the point of demolishment.
And we go back to you saying, why does it take so long to do a mortgage? Do you know how many houses a bank could have in
They
foreclosure?
better hire more people then. That's all I'm saying, hire more people.
Higher time for mayor.
Hundreds.
Hire more people, put more systems in
Hundreds of
place.
houses.
So
Foreclosure.
let's talk about people that actually buy a house to pay it, that actually are realistic with their expenses.
Yeah,
But can't afford to put 20% down.
that's right.
So they get the PMI. The PMI obviously protects the bank.
That's right.
Normally it's what, $100 extra per month.
No. It
Well,
depends.
no.
The PMI
Well, it depends
is,
on the mortgage, right?
the mortgage, private mortgage insurance monthly premium depends on the loan amount, your credit score, and the type of mortgage. There is government mortgage insurance premium, PMI, for the government, for the FHA and VA, and it's conventional, okay? So the government has a great program, FHA, it's an awesome program for first-time home buyers, okay? But the private mortgage insurance on that loan, it's a little higher. It's paid, it's paid by you, but the government is the one that's gonna benefit. There's so many foreclosed FHA properties, HUD properties in the city, everywhere in the United States, that HUD is just out of control.
And this is where education is key.
Absolutely. And I repeat, if it was up to me, no one should close on a mortgage
Well, then,
unless they
if
take.
you would have seen me,
Unless
and
they
let me
take
tell you,
over
I would
the
never have a
house.
house if it was not for Miggy.
Yeah.
Miggy
Cool people.
broke her back to
Cool
make
people.
sure. She looked at us and she was like, you shouldn't even be here. They're trying, she knew that they were taking advantage of us. They didn't even care. They were trying to make a dollar. I'm not going to say no names.
No,
I can
you
tell
should.
you all
No,
close,
absolutely.
But they were just caring about selling the house, the realtor, which again, it was a HUD home, and there was nothing really wrong with it, except the little things, you know. And I just wish that Latino person would have took my hand and said, you know what, I want to put you onto something where it's going to take less money in your pocket, take less, you know, put me through, you know, help a brother out.
That's right.
A Latino brother at that, or anybody. You know, me, I don't care what color you are. If I got a better way for you to save some money and achieve a goal,
That's right.
it doesn't cost me nothing to share that information.
And that's why after being in this business over 20 years, I know I started very young. After 20 years, I know when a realtor is a good realtor, okay? Believe me, a realtor makes me money because I work for a bank and I'm on commission. But I know when a realtor is going to take good care of a customer from day one. They're going to be honest.
Yeah.
They're going to tell them, mira, Ricardo, don't get into it. That house, the basement has a crack and that foundation is no good. That kind of thing is what you want to get from a realtor.
I was young and I knew nothing.
You were probably excited to be
I thought my credit was great. I bought a nice car and I was starting a family and I'm like, it was right up the street from my mother-in-law's house at that time and I'm like, I love the neighborhood already and I'm like, I was snow, it was winter and I told my kid's mother, because every Sunday we used to go out to the movies and dinner, drive around and look at houses, not to buy it, but just to look at nice houses. We loved looking at nice houses out in the burbs. And I said, go get that number. And that house was always there for like 2 years, and Alphas has been there for longer, but I finally noticed it one day, and there was a sign that said, go get that number. She got it, she got the car worked down, and I called it up, I went to go see it. And nothing, no education, no nothing. And I mean, we bought the house, and when we came, I mean, I ran almost into a nightmare. The chimney was almost falling down. When I went to go get the insurance, they want to know information. How old the house is, how old the roof is, how old the appliances are.
And you didn't even know?
No, I called him up when I was there and he lied to me about everything.
No.
Everything was good?
And he said, the roof is only 5 years old and the appliances are... Bull. It was complete bull. And let me tell you, another person that helped me out was Maggie Nieves.
Oh, awesome.
Maggie's like, I love Maggie.
Person.
Yeah, she got my last name.
Yeah.
I don't know how I found out. It was around the corner, NEPCA. When it was around at that time.
Right, yes.
Somebody's like, go to NEPCA. And I was red tagged. Luckily, it was summer and fall, but I was red tagged in my appliances, my furnace and my water tank. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I just spent all my money.
How long ago was that, 15?
Over 15
We would
years ago.
never. Now, there's no way.
I had no money to buy these things.
Yeah.
And real quick, let's fast forward a little bit, because something happened over the last, 7, 8,
Almost 10 years. Almost 10, yeah.
That at one point, people were getting homes left and right.
That's right.
You want a house? Here's a
Sign
$500,000
here.
house.
Sign here.
Sign here.
Sign here.
You got it, knowing you cannot afford it.
That's right.
And that's part of the reason why our market
Why
crashed.
why is my job so
Yeah.
difficult today? Why are people saying, why can't you just do a mortgage like you used to? I met with a customer, a couple today that have had a house 15 years ago. They sold it, and they're first-time home buyers again. For sale.
Yeah, I think
Right.
after 3 years,
Yeah,
right?
so, to them it's all new again. So, he sits in front of me, he goes, why can't I just put no money down? Well, 15 years ago, you could probably buy a house at 100% financing. You didn't need any money, right? You just come in, if you had a heartbeat, you could get a mortgage. Nowadays, we want blood. I be honest, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say it's not easy. There are guidelines to follow, but it's not the bank. We have to follow what the feds are telling us. Remember, all this foreclosure is hurting all of us, not just one family or two families or one neighborhood. All of us. Whatever happens to Bank of America scrolls down to all the lenders, because that's what the feds are looking at. If they did it, somebody else is gonna do it. So now we've gotta be really strict. The guidelines are very strict. Every time I take a loan, I gotta make sure that I follow the guidelines. Did I do the right thing? Did I follow the checklist? Did I pick up the right documents? Anything can happen.
I know personally, from my personal experience dealing with you less than a year ago, the process was smooth, but there were a lot of bumps.
Remember, we asked a lot of questions,
Yeah,
right?
asked a lot
Things
of
that you
questions.
thought were probably not important
Yeah,
to
and
you.
I'm not
Like,
saying
why are
that-
you minding my business?
Yeah,
Why-
exactly. And that's what my biggest thing was. Well, if you're asking me, let's say $20,000 to close, as long as I got $20,000, leave me the hell alone.
Right. But it's not that way. It's not that way. You could have $1 million.
But then it came down to money being moved,
Right.
and now I gotta justify the money
Exactly.
being moved.
We have to document those
Stuff,
things. And that's what bothers first-time home buyers. Why are we asking all these things? I have the money in the bank, but you know what? You didn't have it 10 days ago. All of a sudden you have 10,000. Where did it come
Where did it come
from?
from?
Did you go to M&T and borrow a loan? Take a loan out?
but you
Did
can't
you
borrow
go-
a loan.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
But what if
not.
a friend owed you money?
No, then you have to show me that you gave them the 10,000 2 weeks ago.
But that's private. That's a
Doesn't
private
matter.
loan.
But that's
Okay, so it's not part of that, I wanna give you $100,000. You're asking me for $100,000.
But I'm saying, what if a friend get a notary letter saying he borrowed, I borrowed $10,000
You gotta
from
show me
him?
And that's the point that I'm making, and I think that's what I'm trying to
Documentation.
get at. I'm trying to get at the fact that nothing worth having comes easy.
Exactly.
So with
But once
me,
you get it, it's very rewarding.
I went through that, and I remember I used to joke with her, like, really? What do you want next? You want my freaking blood type?
That's right.
I
That's
was like,
right.
come
Yeah, you
on,
said that, yeah.
you know.
Yes.
But when the process was done, and I closed on the house, and I got the keys, and I walked into my house, you know what? Everything after that was smooth. I don't have no problems with the bank. Usually people have problems with the bank when they end up not paying the bill. But that's one thing you gotta be realistic on. You gotta make sure you make those payments. Make sure you stay on top of it. So it is very rewarding. As somebody who went through that not too long ago, who's been through it a few times, I can attest to the fact that it was smooth going through you. And I knew that it was, you had my best interest at heart. I think that's the biggest thing.
The good thing, and not to just say because it's me, again, I deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of low-income borrowers in the African-American community. If they don't get educated, then I have to hold their hand from day one. I have been to so many closings where I have to sit next to them. It's not my job, I don't need to.
My lawyer
But
was-
I do it.
I wanna
because
punch my lawyer in the mouth.
It makes them comfortable. I have a Hispanic lady, she bought a house a year ago. She calls me for everything. Mira, Rosalí, se rompió esto, it broke, whatever. So, Maria, you gotta be careful, whatever, right? So then she calls me, she brings me food every now and then. She stops by the branch. She just loves me, you know? Exactly, and you build that and you make them feel comfortable, you know? I got her as much grant as I could, the lowest payment we could possibly get her. So if you make them comfortable from day one, they're going to enjoy this process. You know, don't get me wrong, there are some customers that will have some difficult times because they don't document things properly. You're borrowing $10,000 from your friend, we're gonna wanna know.
I'm just saying.
I understand, but we're gonna wanna know because what if you borrow it from...
What if I had it under my mattress all the
Well,
time?
it's not allowed anymore. But 10 years ago or 15 when you bought the
I'm
house,
just
viejo,
saying.
15 years ago, viejo, it was okay to have it.
Wait.
You know,
Wait,
but not now.
Talking about viejo.
Not
She said you
now.
only have 15
Yeah,
years.
I know,
That makes you old.
Yeah.
That makes you old, sorry.
Mattress
Yeah.
money was allowed 15
Yeah.
years ago. Now I cannot say it was.
Or I can play devil's advocate, and I could be from the New York State Taxation Department and say, hey, that 10,000 that you had under your mattress, did you pay taxes on that? Can you prove it?
Did you disclose
I'm like
that?
devil's advocate. I'm talking for the owners. They might have
I know.
these
So
questions.
basically, the biggest thing is to make sure your ducks are in a row.
Yes.
If you are making $50 an hour under the table, that's not gonna cut it. I'm sorry. It's not
$50 an hour?
$50 an
I want that
hour
job.
under the table. It doesn't
I
matter.
want that job.
You're better off making $15 an hour
That's right.
on the table. Make
On
sure
the
you have
books.
documentation.
This-
Make sure you have money in the bank.
Yes.
And
Good credit and good credit. It doesn't have to be excellent. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be excellent, but good credit.
Absolutely. So I think if anything, the biggest takeaway is first of all, take some classes.
Yes, absolutely.
Get yourself educated
So important.
enough
Yes.
to be able to at least understand what you're getting yourself into.
Yes.
Be realistic, and then get yourself someone like Rosalie that will, at least from a financial standpoint, make sure that you get to where you have to go.
Absolutely,
And that's
absolutely.
basically it. So how can people contact you?
Well, I'm here locally in Rochester. My number is 585-317-2619. I'm available 7 days a week, honestly. I'm not just saying it. I'm available
317-2619.
That's right, yes.
585. Make sure you reach out to her. I know you're all over the place, so you're not usually at one branch.
Now I
So I
have
wouldn't say
numerous
go
banks,
to one
but I'm
branch.
local. Yes, I can meet anybody anywhere,
There you go.
yes.
So definitely, if you're interested, if you want more information, if we didn't cover what it was you were looking for the answers for today, make sure you call her up,
Yes.
hit her up, and definitely good luck on that home purchasing endeavor, and it's definitely a rewarding experience. I encourage you to do it.
You said her contact information?
I
Yes,
did,
ma'am.
yes.
Say it again, say it again.
585-317-2619.
Email?
Rosalí Rivera Arzuaga.
Arzuaga.
That's right.
Arzuaga.
That's right. Rosalí
At-
Rivera Arzuaga.
What's your email?
It's Rosalie Rivera Arzuaga at citizensbank.com.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad for all
I
you guys that have to type
know.
that.
I know, just call me. It'll be
Just
easier.
call her.
Just call me,
Just
guys.
call. Definitely, it was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. I've had a great time.
Is there anything we felt we missed?
No, you guys cover pretty much what a first-time buyer should really be asking.
Well, it helps that we've
You know?
been through it, so.
Yeah, it helps us.
And I'm gonna tell you, do not go through what I went through. Get educated,
Yes.
talk to people, do not follow your heart. Sometimes your heart misleads you. Like if they, I mean, I don't regret anything. I've had a lot of help and assistance, I've had grants, and me educating myself and growing into the field of housing, I was able to, still be there and do things for my own property, but not everybody's, that lucky.
That's right, lucky,
You
yeah.
know, lucky, for real lucky. So I mean, get educated for real. It doesn't even especially the females. Don't be afraid to pick up something and fix it yourself. Don't depend on a man to do it for you.
And they have classes. They have classes that will teach you how to do all this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I even put something together for the city of Rochester when I was working at Group 14621. It was like little simple do-it-yourself. And basically, now if it gets to a certain point, call a contractor, call a professional.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are good. Hey, Tim, I can't fast forward over here.
You're hanging out for the last segments?
I'll be over here.
You're leaving us?
I'll be right here.
You're leaving us?
I'll be hanging over
What do you
here.
like to leaving us?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out over there, but I love listening to you guys. So
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Gracias.
Yes. Okay.
Say the number one more time.
Thank my number.
Say the
One more
number.
time. 585-317-2619. Call me.
Tim is gonna put it right down here. Hologram. Whatever. Well, check this out.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, so we have one final part, sports and entertainment, and then we'll be done. But definitely, you can check Rosalie out and get yourself educated. First and foremost, before you even decide to do it, get yourself educated.
Educate yourself. You might really end up yourself in what is called a money pit.
Exactly.
Don't get yourself in a money pit.
Just think about how many people fight so hard to get that 1995 Q45 Infinity, go through all this trouble, ask for 6 people to co-sign for them, only to invest into a money pit. Same thing with a house, and a house is a lot bigger than that. So
All you're really doing is assessing if you are prepared to handle the undertaking of that property. That's all it is.
But it is rewarding, it is a great thing, it's good to be able to have something that is yours, because really, when you rent, all you're doing is having somebody like myself or other people that own properties, you're helping build their wealth. You're helping build your wealth. You're just throwing money away.
I mean, home ownership is not for everybody, but I encourage everyone to entertain the thought.
Well, put it like this. If, let's say you spend $1,000 a month, and in 1 year you spend $12,000, if you rent that $12,000, you're never going to see again. It's gone. You paid it.
You're gonna drive by the house when they say, I paid a lot of money to live there one
If
time.
you own a house and you spend $12,000, first of all, you're getting back tax incentives. You're getting back credits because of the fact that you paid mortgage insurance, because of the fact that you paid interest. You also are building equity. So at the end of the day, when you're done paying for that house, you actually have equity. You have a piece of tangible property. You have something you can sell. And some people get lucky. Some people
I'm not
buy
gonna lie,
it.
the first night I stepped in my house, it rained and I was like, it's raining on my roof. It's raining on my roof. On my roof.
Definitely feels better. I've done both. So moving along, the Bills remain in Buffalo.
Record
No
bid
one
1.4 billion by the Pagulas.
By Scott Pegulas, I believe, right?
Pagulas, Pegulas, whatever his name
Pegulas,
is.
they
He
own
owns the
Buffalo
Buffalo
Sabres.
Sabres. And not for nothing, I'm not a Buffalo Bill fan.
Pegulas.
Pegulas, I said it right then. So I'm not a Buffalo Bill fan,
You
but
know, I'm not a
I'm
Buffalo
happy
fan.
that they're gonna stay in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
I'm a fan of the fans of Buffalo. I think,
No doubt.
because they are loyal.
No doubt.
You go to a game and you see the loyalty, you see the people, even when they lose as bad as they lose, people come back every week and they show their loyalty to the team. So I think the least that could have been done for them in return
I'll be honest with
is
you,
to have the
if
team stay there.
Buffalo Bills leave Buffalo, Buffalo will be really
Well,
messed up.
But now because of this acquisition,
I'm glad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy.
Because Bon Jovi was ready to take him to Toronto.
Yeah.
He had them ready to go, and they were gone.
Nobody was believing that little memo he put
Now,
out.
and these guys, the Pegulas,
Pegulas.
the Pegulas, actually bid, I think 500, what is it, 500,000 more? No, put it like this, they were asking like 973 million.
Which is weird.
And they ended up giving 1.4.
I don't understand how the Bills, who have been along, if I'm not mistaken, longer than the Clippers, and the sport of football is bigger than basketball. Again, this is my opinion. How the hell did the Clippers sell for $3 billion and the Bills only sell for 1.4? I don't get that.
It's only 16
And
games.
it's about market, well, they don't own the stadium over there.
Yeah.
They're an LA team, but they don't own a stadium. Buffalo owns a stadium.
I'm sure I have to do something with the 86 game season versus 16 games.
I don't
So,
know. Obviously, I thought it would go over 2.
Yeah. And that was the record. That's the record. Amongst all the teams that have been purchased recently. That's it. That's the record. So
That's crazy. Football season early
Early
surprise.
surprises, yeah, the early surprise, the Giants got their butts whooped.
That's a
Dallas
surprise.
got their butts whooped. Here's a surprise for me. Oh, hold up. So
I'm just saying.
Hold up. So let me ask you.
I just said it last week. Didn't I say it last
It's,
week?
first of all, it's one game. We won 5-0 in preseason. It's one game.
You're right. It's just 1 week.
It's 1 week. But let me ask you a question. 2 halves. First half, how were you at your home? And I wasn't there. So how were you?
Wait. First of all, I had a barbecue. I had friends
27
over.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about how were you? How are you? I can ask you.
I was excited. Even when Antonio Brown kicked Tony in the face, I was enjoying it.
What happened in the second half?
I was quiet. I was a little concerned. Yes, you know what? As a Steelers fan, you should expect that. Why? Because the Steelers always win ugly. We always win ugly. We always win by half a point. A quarter of a point. We win ugly, but we get the W's. And to us, in our world, as long as we get the W, we're good. I don't care about big margins. I don't care about that.
That was a crazy game. As far as Eli, that offensive line, which is basically relatively new for us. So it's not like we've been around for so long. They've gelled. They haven't gelled. They haven't really played with each other except for the 5 preseason games and now a regular season game. I'm not worried about it. You have people online burning people are burning Eli Manning jerseys. People are like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, oh yeah, there was a campaign that guy started.
The man brought 2 rings to that. Oh my.
Burning Eli Manning jerseys, and it's crazy.
What a savage.
It's crazy.
2-time Super Bowl MVP and they burn his jersey. I'm sorry, when you win 2 Super Bowls and MVP, you're untouchable. You shouldn't even say nothing about that person.
I'm not
You need to
panicking.
look at us work.
I'm not panicking just yet, but we should have won. Detroit is a good team. It's not like Detroit is bums.
Detroit is bouncing right now.
They're a good
They're
team.
very underrated.
They know what they're doing.
2 words, Stafford and Johnson.
Yeah,
That's it.
they've been together, so they played well. I'm still going to stick by my 12-4 season record until we go 0-5. If we go 0-5, then it's done. But that's not going to happen. So
All right. Ray Rice situation.
Ray Rice situation, man. I don't know.
Do you feel he deserves a second chance?
Honestly, I don't. And this is my personal opinion. I don't think that he should be going through this nonsense now. I think he should have been going through this nonsense.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Because he
The way
said
he got
exactly what happened.
Exactly.
He put it on the
His
table.
2-game suspension. I bet you when they told him 2-game suspension, he was like, really? Okay.
But I think, and
I think his suspension for 2 games was under the bar. Ben supposedly raped 2 girls, but it was consensual, just the girls trying to, whatever. Never convicted, never went to court, whatever happened. But this guy, whatever happened, got 2 games. I think they went cheap shot on him. I think they should have given him 6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
4 to 8 games. But people would have shut up, but not because people see it.
just because of
It's a problem. Do you believe that the NFL never seen that videotape?
No, they seen it.
They seen it.
They seen it. They just today verified that it was delivered to them back.
And what is it? It's the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody in the public is like, ooh, pointing fingers as if they don't have glass houses. Please.
Yeah, and that's the thing that gets me, man, is how people are now basically in this guy's life. I don't know Ray Rice, okay? All I know is that obviously he was in a situation, he should never hit a woman. He did. We don't know what happened. All we can see is the video. She spit on him.
They were drunk. He made a bad choice. Now,
the thing is that
where's Chris Brown at? Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna.
he admitted to it. The thing with me is that he admitted to it. He was straightforward on everything. He said, I punched her.
I knocked her the hell out.
Yeah, she got knocked out.
And part of that knockout was not just his punch. She hit the elevator.
Since then, they've gotten married. Now we have people on social media that are saying, oh my gosh, she's brainwashed. Oh my God, they're speaking for her. They're speaking for her. They're speaking for him. And it's
Yeah, but mind your damn business.
But yet, these
Y'all don't have
people-
enough of your own problems to worry about that, really?
Exactly. These are the same people that, like I said, I'm not condoning domestic violence, but are probably themselves either committing it or are in there and they're kind of trying to judge. They're like, no, take care of your life.
You weren't here earlier, but I was watching the pre-highlights before the game kicked off because Pittsburgh and Baltimore are playing right now. There's a lot of supporters for Ray Rice wearing the jerseys right now.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. My prediction is, watch this. Ray Rice will be back in the NFL. Goodell will be out.
No, yeah, I think it else, man.
Goodell's gone because he handled it wrong. Now the owners love him because, in a sense, his tenureship, he's brought them millions and millions of dollars.
Millions.
All of them.
Millions.
And he's the best commissioner ever.
Millions.
Whether you want to argue that or not, he's the best commissioner money-wise.
Yeah, right.
But the way he handled the situation was so bad that no owner's going to step up behind him.
I think the punishment should have
But
been.
Ray Rice will be back.
Yeah, and the
He will be
punishment
back.
should have been the punishment from.
And I tell you
day-
what, we'll be back this season.
From day one.
We'll be back this
So-
season.
Baltimore's winning 10-0.
So I don't condone the situation at all, but that's for them to deal with. That's not for me to decide and dictate what Ray Rice or his
I don't
body
support it.
should
Dude,
do.
my mom's been beaten in front of me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying what he did was right.
What I'm saying is let.
But the punishment must fit the crime. And I don't think, and I'm talking about in the world of sports, not in the world of court of justice.
And then it should have fit the crime when they knew what happened, not with
I
the
agree.
TMZ. Which to me, bro, I'm gonna say it right here, and I know we're kind of in the media ourselves with this show, but TMZ is like the scum of the scum of the scum of the earth. That dude, what's his name? I never liked him anyway. He was on freaking the Judge show. Freaking
Yeah, that's it,
whatever
that's
it is.
it.
Yeah, that's it. They are like the scum. What they do is they try to, but no, what they do is
They just do it
focus
for
on-
ratings.
They try to make people's lives as miserable as possible. They don't care what it is.
But you know what though? Misery needs company.
Yeah, and that's what it is. So,
It's the people that sold the video to him to scum.
oh yeah, that's,
Yeah, but according to what we heard lately, that tape was sent out to the NFL by the law enforcement. It was given to them. They're talking about they never got
way
it.
back when.
They got it.
Way back
They
when.
got
So
it.
either way, it's unfortunate. We don't condone domestic
move on.
violence. And
Not at all.
They got to deal with what they got to deal with.
Mayweather fights this
Mayweather fights
Saturday.
on Saturday. What do you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go for my Donna.
Maidana knockout or a decision?
I think I'm gonna go with the decision one. Even though I would love to see Mayweather knocked out, but not my Donna. I would love it if it was Cotto. In my world, I would love it. But be careful what you ask for Mayweather, because now this dude saying that, you know what? I'm blessed to have a second opportunity, because now I know how you fight firsthand, and I'm gonna bring it to you this time.
I think the same thing, but I think that's
Mayweather's gonna find a way out.
It's not work for Mayweather this time.
Mayweather, listen, Mayweather doesn't have to bring a game. His game is this, defense. The way he guards himself is crazy.
But he fought.
That's why he wins. It's, you may not, Mayweather may not hit as much as his opponent, but you can't block his guard. His guard is impeccable.
Oh, yeah.
And the way he punches is strategic. He doesn't just throw punches. He's gonna hit you when he knows he's gonna hit you.
So I don't think Mayweather has knockout power anymore.
No, I agree.
But it,
Well, hasn't displayed it in a
yeah,
long
hasn't
time.
displayed it.
I mean, what was his last knockout?
I can't remember. Bro. That's how long ago. It was Victor Ortiz.
Well, that was different.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
some
that
true
was-
shit.
yeah, that
Because he
was-
tried to kiss him.
yeah, yeah.
That was bull.
Yeah.
I don't even consider that as a knockout.
Besides that, probably Ricky Hatton. Probably Ricky Hatton. I don't even know, man. To be honest with you, it's been that long. It's been that long. But definitely looking for an explosive fight. I think Maidana has a lot to prove. They're going to come out. Mayweather said his last fight is September of 2015.
That's two
He's
fights
done.
left.
2 fights
In
left.
my opinion, what Mayweather should do is get Cotto and Pacquiao the fights, or get 2 Pacquiao fights. The fans deserve
I'll
it.
tell you what.
owe it to the
It's not
fans.
gonna happen. It's not gonna happen with Cotto. Cotto's fighting early 2015. Mayweather only fights this May and September.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Cotto and Pacquiao fights gonna happen?
Cotto and Pacquiao?
I mean, Mayweather and Pacquiao.
You know what? Yeah. If Pacquiao
Next year.
But
Do you think it's gonna be the last fight? I've always predicted it. When he signed the Showtime contract, I say he's gonna be his last fight.
And it should
Now let me ask
last
you.
2 fights. Last 2 fights.
Okay.
Fight.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say it's his last fight, and Mayweather hypothetically loses. You think Mayweather do another one?
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
For the money, why wouldn't you miss the
There's no
money?
way. There's no way. What I heard was, and this is like I said, all rumors and speculation, was that there was somebody that was going to finance the fight, and they had the pot like at $270 million.
It's gonna break all records.
No, just for them to get paid. To split.
It's gonna break all records.
$270 million.
Pay per view. The whole world's gonna watch.
Who's gonna be the fight? Mayweather and him?
Oh, look at this guy.
I'm sorry, we were talking,
Mayweather and Maidana.
Can you just spell boxing?
So real quick.
No.
What the fuck?
Real quick. Make sure you check us out next week. We'll be back again next Thursday, 8 p.m. Check us out on Udicci.TV. Make sure you
Real
check
Talk
us out.
360.
Yep, Real Talk 360.
Another shout out to
We'll be back.
Lexington Federal Credit Union.
Of course.
Making this
Shouts out
happen.
to Rosalie for coming out and educating us.
And Citizens Bank.
Citizens Bank. And shouts out to you for watching. Whether you're watching live or you're watching recorded. Either way, thank you. Appreciate
God bless.
you. God bless you. Good night. And we out.
I got